If you have more mature skin, but you like a medium to full coverage, buildable foundation with more of a semi-matte versus a flat, dry, cakey looking matte, then this Friday Face Off is for you. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Jody. I'm 55. Think of me as your midlife beauty bestie, where we just share makeup tips and tricks and secrets and new products. And on Friday Face Off, we test them side by side to see how they apply and how do they wear, because there will be an 8-hour wear test. Even though one of these Friday Face Off foundations say that it's a 30-hour, we will not be doing a 30-hour wear test here. But we'll see how it does with 8 hours. I have combination skin. I'm oily in the T-zone and then I'm pretty dry everywhere else. So these will wear a little bit differently depending on your skin type. Now, typically in a Friday Face Off, I am applying these products for the very first time and we are going to experience them together. That is not so much the case here because this Complexion Crush, which is $16 by Ulta, this is one of my favorites. So I'm very much in love with this and I'm going to give a very honest review of how it wears. But I also have been loving Maybelline's 30-hour Super Stay Lumi foundation. Both perform very well. The key thing here to remember is both are $16, although at the time that I'm filming this video, the Ulta Complexion Crush is on sale for $11.20. But again, normally they're both $16. Ulta is not available everywhere for my friends up in Canada. I know you're not able to get Ulta. So I wanted to see, does this wear as well as this one? I absolutely love this one, as I've mentioned, and we'll probably mention a few more times. The other thing is they're both 1 ounce and Ulta is cruelty-free where Maybelline is not. So it's important to know those right out of the gate. They both are luminous matte finish or a natural matte finish. Both are medium to full coverage. Both say buildable, both say lightweight. In essence, these are pretty identical when you look at the marketing. So let's just get right into it and see how they wear. I already have on sunscreen and I have on moisturizer. I'm not gonna set either of these foundations with a powder because I wanna see how they wear on more mature skin without having a powder on them. How do they wear on their own? I'm not a big fan of having to put powder all over my face to get the best out of a foundation. So hopefully that's not the case with the Maybelline. In the Complexion Crush, I wear neutral medium. One of the reasons I like this one so much, you guys, is because not only is it that luminous matte finish, it's not too shiny, not too glowy, but I find that the tones are a little more neutral to cool, where typically I find foundations that are a little bit too warm or they look a little too warm or they oxidize too warm on me. That is not the case with this one, specifically this neutral medium. It's just the most perfect cool undertoned foundation. So if you struggle with finding a foundation that is the right tone, meaning cool for you, then this might be an option to try. Both of my sisters are now big fans of this. My older sister said it took her a little bit of a learning curve before she loved it. And when I really dug down deep in that and drilled down and tried to figure out what she meant by that, she's just not used to a semi-matte. She was used to more of a satin or natural finish. And once she started using a more semi-matte foundation, she really liked it. Look at the coverage that you get from that. You can see in this side that's just a solid complexion, where over here I have freckles and age spots and everything. This is just such a beautiful foundation and I love the price point. And I really love the fact that it is on sale for under $12. So for those of you that love it already and you know you love it, you might want to go ahead and order that quickly before it goes off sale. And the fact that it's only 1 ounce makes me feel better about buying it not in bulk, but buying one more extra, because you go through it, I wouldn't say quickly, but more quickly than some of the larger foundations. Like here's one from Clinique. This is the Even Better Clinical. I have not even tried this one yet. I purchased this with the intent of doing a Friday Face Off, but I just haven't done that yet. Maybe because I like the idea of these two drugstore, same price, same coverage, same finish, going head to head. One's cruelty free, so just gives us some options. All right, so there you have a really nice, pretty finish. I will add my other makeup. I'll do some eye makeup and stuff, of course, before I finish my day. But I'm going to leave it as my concealer as well so that you can see the difference where I don't have any coverage to how well that covered that under eye area. So if you wanted to add just a little bit of a concealer right through here to brighten that area, let's just do that so that you can see. This is the Jane Iredale Pure Match. Not that I need it though. I really don't need to add concealer. I'm just gonna do it so you can get a little bit of brightness there. I wanna point out that both of these foundations start with water as their base. The second ingredient is dimethicone, which is a silicone. If you find that your foundation tends to ball up or slip or separate on your skin as the day goes on, one thing to check is the base of your moisturizer. Some moisturizers are an oil based, or maybe the last product that you put on is an oil. You really want to be careful doing that because you're putting oil down and then you're putting a water silicone based foundation on top of it. Oil and water don't mix that well. They do tend to separate. So it may not be your foundation if you're finding some separation or some balling up or some, gathering, I think. I've done that before where it starts to really gather around my nose and my pores. So just check and see what the base ingredient of your moisturizer is. Because again, we might be blaming the foundation and it's not the foundation's fault at all. Now another quick little spot I've been putting my concealer is right at the side of your nose. As we age, we lose volume right through here, and you'll notice that it's a little darker right through here. Just a little bit of brightening product, so in my case a concealer, just makes this area come forward a little bit and look less sunken in. Isn't that crazy how what a difference that makes from getting rid of this little shadow right in the corner of your nose? And the only reason I know that is because I was talking to a lady that does injections. I don't have filler in my face. I get accused of filled cheeks all the time. I do not have filled cheeks. These are my dad's cheekbones. But one of the things she said really makes a big difference is people get filler, I guess, right here on each side of their nostril to make this look more forward. So I thought, well, if it's an optical illusion to make it look more forward, can't concealer sort of do that? And I would say the answer is yes. All right, so there you go. There is the Complexion Crush. Really pretty. Even though it's a matte, it's not flat. It definitely still has a little bit of, I would say, glow. I think glow is the best word, and I love it. All right, so let's go into this Maybelline. The Complexion Crush comes in 26 shades. This comes in 24 shades. You do want to shake this pretty good. As I said before, medium coverage, buildable coverage, all the things that we just went over on the other one. Now I have this one in shade 120, which is the same shade that I bought in the Maybelline Super Stay Skin Tint, and they do match identical. I don't know if that's the same for all of the shades in this new foundation, but from the 120 in the skin tint is the same as the 120 in this 30 hour. I like to apply the foundation, as you guys know, on the back of my hand. You could just go right in and put a little pump. It's not a big deal. You could also apply both of these foundations with a damp beauty sponge if you prefer a more sheared out look. I like a little more full coverage because, again, I've just got some red spots on my face, some discoloration, not a lot, but there's a spot right there that always bugs me. So I'm just going to pat this around. Now, as I've said before, I like to put my foundation on the less wrinkly parts of my face so that the most product is in the smoothest part. Then blend it to the high movement areas, which is typically around your mouth and underneath your eyes, because high movement means that there's just more chance for your foundation to move because you're blinking a lot, you're talking a lot, you're creating movement in the face. So you want the least amount of product in those areas, but you still want product there. So I will just pounce it all the way around. I'm using the BK Beauty 106 brush. This is my favorite foundation brush. It's just soft, fluffy, so I get light coverage, but I get a nice even coverage without having, especially with putting that foundation around my face and then blending it forward. It just gives a nice smooth look to the way I apply my foundation. So same type of a finish. It's that glow from within. It has really nice coverage. You see how well it covered up those red spots and a little bit of those freckles on my face. And just overall, it is a nice looking foundation with good coverage. And I just want to see something real quick because I feel like the Complexion Crush is a little darker. And yeah, it is. It's just a little tiny darker. which is interesting. I do like that little darker side better. I think it just gives a little bit of a healthy glow. Be sure to bring it down. But I don't mind this side. So just know if you're looking to match the same colors that I do, 120 is probably an exact match, but I like it to go just one shade darker. I'm gonna wipe that off my hand before it ends up everywhere. The coverage on this Maybelline is as good as the Complexion Crush. You can see I don't need to add a concealer, but I am gonna go in, again, just a little bit of brightening right in this outer corner where I'm starting to have a little bit of a divot on my cheekbone. And then let's go ahead and highlight this little part on the nose. That's just the best little tip. And if I haven't shared that, I've known that for about 2 months. So if I haven't shared that before, you guys, my apologies. When I learn something, I try to pass it on, but that one I might have forgotten. So now you know, and definitely give it a try and see what you think. You can set it with a little bit of powder if you find that you get oily in that area. I don't find that I need to do that. The days of being oily, isn't it? I miss those days actually. I did not like them when it was happening, but now as I've gotten older, I would give anything for some of those nuances that I didn't like at the time to have those back. All right, so that is the finished look on both sides. I think the coverage is very, very similar. I do like the shade of that Complexion Crush, as I mentioned, but the coverage is fantastic. So let's pause here. I'll go put on the rest of my makeup. You can see the final look, and then we'll do an 8-hour wear test. Well, here's the finished look. I did not put on any blush, you guys, because I wanted to really be able to see how these two foundations perform without any creams on top or any powders on top. The only thing that I did put around the outer edges is a little bit of contour. And if you didn't see my fall video, I'll link it at the end of this video. The new Morphe Solo Cream Eyeshadows, I'm absolutely loving. I know some of you have mentioned in the comments that you find that they dry out really quick. I have not had that experience, so I don't know if it's just the way the packaging is, if there's a little clear, I don't have a new one that I haven't opened. There's a little clear seal piece of paper, I guess, or plastic over the top before the lid goes on it. I do tear that all the way off and then I just make sure that the lid is tight. Mine have been fine. The shade Chorus is a really nice cream contour because it's just the right amount of brownish gray. So that's what I have up here. Again, it's more of a cream, but on my cheeks and everywhere else, I don't have any powder or any cream products because I really, again, just want to see how these wear. If we know that they wear fine with no help, no setting powder, no setting spray, no finishing spray, nothing underneath or on top, then we know that if we apply some things, then we'll have a better result. So I just want to know how they wear without any extra help. So after application, the Complexion Crush, very nice full coverage, but doesn't feel like full coverage. And the Maybelline 30-Hour Super Stay, also very nice full coverage, but doesn't feel like full coverage. So if we were to stop here, this would be the winner for me only because it is all the things that this one is, plus it's cruelty free, but it is hard for some people to get a hold of. So let's see if I change my opinion after 8 hours. All right, before we get into this 8-hour review, I want to take a second to welcome those of you that have subscribed lately. I'm so glad that you have joined us. You've joined a really supportive community of women that are just going through the aging process, and we're doing it in a positive, embracing the age process kind of way. Also, if you want to become a channel ambassador, you can do so by hitting that join button. It's 99 cents a month. It's the lowest amount that YouTube allows us as creators to offer. And the reason I did it that way is so that for those of you that want to support the channel, you can become a channel ambassador for 99 cents a month. And that way I don't have to create content that is behind a locked wall, if you will. So a lot of creators, and I don't fault them for it, I understand the business model, but they'll create memberships where if you pay a certain amount, you get access to additional content. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want people that couldn't afford additional content to not have access to everything. So this way I just had the price as low as it could be so that it's more of a shared for those that want to support the channel. Great. And that way everyone has access to all of the content that is available. So if you see that join button show up, that's what that's for. And it's $12 a year. You can cancel it at any time. All right, so let's get into these. I'm rubbing this as though there was something here. This is where that concealer was over the foundation. Still looks really nice. The reason I love both of these foundations, you guys, is because after 8 hours being out in the sun, being in the heat, I don't see breakdown. Like I don't see settling into fine lines. I definitely feel like the coverage is a little bit lighter, but where that foundation has gone, I can't tell you. And isn't that a good thing? I can't say it's not here because it's now settled into here. I don't know where it went. I'm assuming it evaporated. That's what I think, because I don't see it really anywhere. Starting on the Complexion Crush side, still very nice coverage. I'm starting to get a little bit of acne right there. That's coming through as the day's gone on. But other than that, I don't really see any breakthrough of discoloration, hyperpigmentation that I wouldn't expect after 8 hours. There's no extra shiny spots in the oily part of my face, and my pores just look blurred out. I love this foundation, and I'm gonna pick it up because it's on sale now for like under 12 bucks. All right, so on the Maybelline side, I feel like it wore a little bit more. Like I can see some of the hyperpigmentation right through my cheek area more than I can on the Ulta side. But other than that, I don't really see, there's a little bit of settling in this line, but that's really it. And after 8 hours on mature skin, I don't feel bad about that. I think overall, these are both really good foundations. If you want to shear them out and not maybe have as heavy of coverage, but you guys saw I didn't use very much at all, so I can't even say I have heavy coverage. I have full coverage. But if you like a little more of a sheared coverage, you could apply both of these foundations on a damp beauty sponge. I have to express the word damp beauty sponge because I was having a conversation with a dear friend of mine the other day who was explaining to me how she uses her beauty sponge, and I had to laugh and I said, please don't ever do that again. She was using it dry. You'll rename nameless. Your secrets are always safe with me. It's not my story to tell. Well, I am telling the story, but I'm not telling on you. Damp your beauty sponge. Get your beauty sponge wet, then squeeze out all the water so it should double in size. Then you start to use your beauty sponge. Anyway, put your foundation on the back of your hand. Put your sponge on your foundation, and still, I like to still use it in the areas where I have the least amount of wisdom lines, and then work it into your higher movement, more wrinkled areas of your face. So either way, but I don't feel either one of these foundations on my face. I don't feel like they're heavy. I don't feel like I wanted a lighter coverage, so I don't feel like I needed to use a beauty sponge. You could also apply these with your fingers if you would prefer. I just felt like, yeah, I haven't done that in a long, long time. I don't like the feeling of it on my fingers. I don't mind the feeling of foundation or blush or anything else on the back of my hand, but I just don't, yeah, I just have, yeah, I wouldn't use my fingers, but you do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable and gives you the look that you're going for. Hey, no judgment here. I'm just giving you the information, and you do what you want to do that makes you feel the best. I just really like that BK Beauty 106 brush. It's never far away. I just feel like it really stipples into the foundation. So for me, this one is, I wouldn't say it's tough because I do like that Ulta is cruelty-free, so that puts it at the top for me. The other thing is the undertones of some of these foundation shades are more neutral to cool. That's not always easy to find. Oftentimes I find on my skin that I pull a little more warm. Now that's not the case with this one. This one is definitely more neutral, where I feel like this one's a little bit neutral to cool, and that's my preferred shade. So that is really why I would go with this one. But if you don't have access to an Ulta, you will be really happy with this. In fact, I could just get this probably in one shade darker and be just as happy with it. This is a very, very good foundation for mature skin. A little goes a long way. It blends out, it works really nice. This one is, I think, just a step above, but you'd be happy with this one. So if you can get this one from Ulta, and Ulta isn't sponsoring me, Maybelline isn't sponsoring me, none of these products are sponsored. I'm surprised Ulta hasn't reached out to me for as much as I talk about this Complexion Crush. I absolutely love it, you guys. I highly, highly recommend it. And yeah, I still have, well, according to this foundation, I still have 22 hours to go, but I don't think I'm gonna push it that far. I'll go wash off my makeup and start to get ready for a good night's rest. That does it for me today, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you want a fall tutorial and you can't wait until the next video, then check out this one I just posted. I'll link it right here for you. It is my first fall tutorial, first of a few to come. So check this one out, and I'll see you in just a couple days. Bye-bye.